"Mommy, wake up, wake up." I felt a little hand shaking me gently, and when I opened my eyes, I saw my daughter Sarah standing beside my bed. Her little face looked serious and worried. "What's wrong, Sarah?" I asked, sitting up and rubbing my sleepy eyes. She looked right at me and said in a soft but urgent voice, "Mommy, I think you shouldn't be with Daddy anymore." Her words hit me like a wave. I was fully awake now, confused and surprised. "What do you mean by that?" I asked, my voice calm but trembling just a little. Sarah sat beside me on the bed and explained in her own sweet way. She said she felt things weren't happy between Daddy and me, and maybe it would be better if we lived separately. At first, I didn't know what to say, but as she spoke, I realized my 5-year-old daughter had noticed things I had tried to ignore, and maybe she had a point. Let me back up a little. My name is Emma Simpson. I'm 34 years old, a working mom, and I sell insurance for a large company. It's not a glamorous job, but it pays the bills. I've been working there for over 10 years now, since before I even got married. Life has been a constant juggling act, trying to balance my career with raising Sarah. Every day, I drop her off at daycare, rush to work, then pick her up again in the evening. My schedule is tight, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and I have to fit everything in between. Why do I push myself so hard? It's all for Sarah. She's my world. She just turned 5, and even though she's still so little, she says things sometimes that surprise me. She's bright, thoughtful, and more observant than I ever realized. My husband and I always wanted her to have a good life, full of opportunities, but raising a child in today's world isn't cheap. Every lesson, every outing, every little wish costs money, so I work hard, harder than I probably should, just to make sure Sarah never has to go without. Sometimes, people ask me, "Why do you work so much? Doesn't your husband earn enough?" The truth is, no, he doesn't. My husband, Keith, works for a company that has been struggling for a while. His income keeps going down. Right now, he makes about 1/3 of what I do. That's why we rely on my earnings more and more. It's not ideal, but it's reality. One night, after Sarah had gone to bed, Keith came to me with a nervous look on his face. "Emma, can I borrow some money?" he asked softly. "For what?" I asked, a little surprised. "I haven't even gotten this month's paycheck yet. I just need it for a little while. I'll pay it back next month, I promise. I had a few drinking parties and unexpected expenses, and I'm short on cash," he explained. I stared at him. "You spent your whole salary on yourself?" I asked, seriously. He looked down, embarrassed. "I'm sorry, I just couldn't say no to my coworkers." Lately, this has become a pattern. Keith often has some reason or excuse for not giving me the money we agreed to use for our household. Sometimes it's for drinks, other times he says he's helping his parents. I'm never sure what's true anymore. I've stopped fighting with him about it, but I can't help thinking, what would he do if I just stopped giving him money? He once told me he has trouble saving, that his account is always empty. I worry about debt. I worry about Sarah seeing all this. I don't want her to think badly of her father, so I keep giving him money. "How about $200 this time?" I offered. His face lit up. "You're a lifesaver, Emma. I'll definitely pay you back next month." "You always say that," I muttered, "but you never actually do." I know, but this time I mean it. I'll stop going to those parties too," he promised. "You should. Sarah comes first, always," I said firmly. Keith nodded. "I know." I sighed deeply. Part of me wanted to believe him. Another part wasn't so sure. I've always tried to support him, not just as his wife, but because I know he's a good dad to Sarah. Every weekend, he makes an effort to spend time with her. One Saturday morning, he even told me, "Emma, take the day for yourself. I'll watch Sarah. Go relax." "But I have chores to do," I replied. "Don't worry, we'll manage. I'll order lunch. You deserve a break," he insisted. Sarah, still sleepy, smiled up at me. "It's okay, Mommy, I'll play with Daddy today." Her sweet words warmed my heart. "Okay, then, maybe I'll go shopping a little," I said. "Yay," Sarah cheered, "but don't forget to get me something too." "I'll bring your favorite chocolate croissant," I promised. That day, I walked around the department store alone for the first time in months, but strangely, nothing caught my eye. I didn't feel like buying anything for myself. Instead, I picked out some cute clothes for Sarah and, of course, her favorite pastry. When I got home, Sarah ran up to me with a big smile. Mommy, welcome back. Did you have fun? I did, and look what I got for you, I said, handing her the croissant and the new clothes. Yay, can we eat this tomorrow morning? She asked excitedly. Wait, where's Daddy? He's outside on the balcony. I think he's on the phone, I said. Curious, I peeked out the window. Sure enough, Keith was out there smoking and talking on the phone. When he noticed me, he quickly ended the call. You're back already? He asked. Yeah, who were you talking to? Oh, just work stuff, he said casually. You left Sarah alone in the house? I asked, trying to stay calm. It was just for a bit, I'm sorry. Later, Sarah told me, Mommy, Daddy said he'd play with me today, but he was on the phone a lot. I felt a pang in my chest. Really? Yeah, he promised we'd read a book, but he never did. That evening, after putting Sarah to bed, I sat down with Keith. Are you really that busy? Even on weekends, you're always on the phone, I said. I've had to work overtime, that's why I've been late coming home. It's all work, he replied. I get that, but can't you put the phone down for a little while when you're with Sarah? She feels lonely. He nodded. You're right, I'll do better. I'll take her with me when I go out, and if you're busy, just tell me ahead of time. Okay. Keith went to bed soon after, taking his phone with him. Lately, he's been sleeping in the bedroom while Sarah and I sleep together in her room. It started out just for fun, but now it's become routine. I love holding her close at night, but I can't help noticing that the time Keith and I spend together as a couple is slowly disappearing. And maybe, that's what Sarah had noticed too. Keith didn't seem bothered by the way things were between us. He stayed distant, always keeping to himself. But for me, as a woman, there were times when I felt very alone. I would lie in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering how long I could keep pretending everything was fine. I didn't complain, though. I just kept going, for Sarah's sake. Then one night, everything changed. Mommy, wake up. I blinked, startled by the sudden sound of my daughter's voice. My eyes opened slowly. It was pitch black in the room. I reached over to check the clock. 2 a.m. Keith was probably still asleep in the other bedroom. I sat up quickly and looked at Sarah, who was standing by my bed, her face serious. What's wrong, sweetheart? I asked gently. Mommy. I have a request, she said, her little voice steady. A request? What is it? Sarah looked straight into my eyes and said, I want you to break up with Daddy. My heart skipped a beat. What did you say? I asked, thinking I must have heard her wrong. I want you to break up with Daddy, she repeated. I stared at her, trying to stay calm, even though my mind was spinning. Why, baby, why would you say that? She hesitated, then said, because, if you stay with him, you're going to get hurt. My blood ran cold. What do you mean, what kind of hurt? I'm okay, but... I heard Daddy talking on the phone. He said something bad. I pulled her closer and stroked her back. Tears were already starting to fall from her eyes. What did he say, Sarah? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. She sniffled. I got up to go to the bathroom, and I heard him talking in his room. He said it would be good if something happened to you. That way, we could get insurance money. My stomach turned. Insurance money? I asked, but in my heart, I already knew what she meant. Then she added, and, he said, I love you, but it wasn't to you, it was to someone else. I took a deep breath, trying to hold back my own tears. My sweet, innocent daughter had been carrying this terrible secret. Don't worry, Sarah, I said softly, Mommy's here, I'll take care of everything. I held her tightly as I silently cried. My little girl, so small, yet so brave. She saw something wrong and came to me. I couldn't ignore it any longer. Keith wasn't just distant, he was dangerous. Now that Sarah had spoken up, I knew I had to act. I looked into her eyes. Sarah, I said gently, can we talk for a moment? This is really important. She nodded. Okay. You were right, I can't stay with Daddy anymore. I've been thinking about it too. I'm planning to leave. What do you think? Sarah paused, thinking carefully. Then she said, I want to stay with you, Mommy. Are you sure? It might be hard for a while. I don't care, she said. I want to be with you. I don't feel safe with Daddy. Her words gave me strength. Okay, sweetheart, let's go. Quietly, we began packing. I told Sarah to only take what she needed, some clothes, her favorite toy, and her backpack. She moved so quietly, so carefully, I didn't realize how grown up she had become. I packed a few things too and took Keith's tablet. I had a feeling he wasn't using his phone to talk to the other woman, he was probably using this instead. Before we left, I took off my wedding ring and left it on the living room table. Then, holding Sarah's hand, we stepped out into the cold, dark night. By 5 a.m., we were ringing the doorbell at my parents' house. My mom answered the door, looking surprised and sleepy. Emma, and Sarah, what's going on? I'm sorry for showing up so early, Mom, I said, my voice trembling. Can we stay here for a while? Of course, she said, pulling us inside. But what happened? After settling Sarah in the guest room to sleep, my mom handed me a warm cup of tea. I sat down on the couch, my hands shaking. I think Keith is trying to hurt me, maybe even kill me, I whispered. My parents froze. What? My dad asked, stunned. Emma,
Are you sure?
Sarah heard him talking on the phone. He said he wanted something to happen to me, so he could get insurance money, and he told someone else he loved her. I think he's having an affair too. My dad looked like he couldn't believe it. But, how do you know for sure? I brought his tablet, I said, reaching into my bag. To my surprise, the screen wasn't locked. I opened his emails and started scrolling. My heart dropped. There were messages to a woman I didn't recognize. They were full of plans and talk about money. One of the emails even outlined a plan that made it clear he was trying to make something happen to me. My mother pointed at the screen, shocked. Emma, this looks serious. You need to keep this. I quickly took pictures of everything and printed the messages at their home printer. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was Keith. I answered on speaker. Hello? Emma, where are you? I woke up and you and Sarah were gone. I'm worried. Worried? I said, barely holding back my anger. Really? That's all you have to say? What do you mean? How dare you? Were you planning to hurt me for the insurance money? There was silence on the line. What? No, why would you think that? Sarah walked into the room. Awake now. I heard you, Daddy, you said it. You were talking about hurting Mommy. That's not true, he shouted. But I knew he was lying. I know about your mistress. I know what you said. I saw your emails. I heard it from Sarah. Why would she say that? He muttered weakly. That was it. I'd heard enough. I'm done. I'll raise Sarah without you. Go live with your mistress if she still wants you. I'll never forgive you. And I hung up the phone. Sarah stood there, watching me. Mommy, are you okay? I opened my arms. Come here. She ran into my embrace. You don't have to worry anymore, I whispered. We're safe now. Really? We'll stay together forever? Yes, always. That week, I filed for divorce. My lawyer helped me get a good child support settlement. Even though Keith's actions were serious enough for the police, I didn't want Sarah dragged into a long investigation. I cut all ties with him. A few months later, I heard that his mistress left him, and even his parents stopped helping him. Now he's alone, struggling with money. As for Sarah and me, we started fresh in a new home. She joined a new school and made new friends. Every day, I watch her smile and play, and I feel hope. It won't always be easy. Life has challenges, but with Sarah by my side, I know we can face anything. She is not just my daughter, she is my strength, my reason, my light. Together, we'll be just fine.